Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K and B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop. What up, y'all? K and B, the sexy ninja, in the place to be for Cplus Studios. Welcome to the Sexy Ninja Cast. Powered by crazyhoodiez.com. Crazy Hoodies with a Z. You saw how I Zorroed that? With a Z. Crazy Hoodies. Designs brought to you and created by Big Daddy. A truly great full supporter of the Sexy Ninja Cast. Not only does he have crazy hoodies, he's also got crazy mugs. Coffee mugs for those coffee drinkers, tea drinkers, hot water drinkers, drinkers of drinks. You should go check out these awesome designs by Big Daddy. And much love and respect. Also go check out Big Daddy Forever. You're probably like, where can I find these things? Well, it's all on Cplus Studios. If you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you're subscribed to us, Cplus Studios on Spotify, anywhere you get podcasts. I can't think of them right now. Apple Music, all that. Anywhere you get podcasts, and you can find Cplus Studios and our link tree and everything like that. Wherever you listen to podcasts, that's where we are at to moisten your ears with awesomeness from us. Also, you can show Big Daddy some love by going to Big Daddy is Cplus Studios YouTube channel, where he drops, unless you're like, man, I don't want to listen to the Sexy Ninja Cast. I don't want to be subscribed to Cplus Studios. I like Big Daddy and that's it. Well, he's got a place of his own. There's Big Daddy is Cplus Studios YouTube channel, where he drops it weekly. Big Daddy Forever. He just dropped an awesome podcast last week called Ask Big Daddy to Deuce, and he will give you flavor upon flavor on your ear holes. So go check it out. Much love to Big Daddy. And if you are new to the Sexy Ninja Cast and you're just tuning in, you're like, I was scrolling through and all of a sudden it says Sexy Ninja Cast, Tha Freek. You're like, what is that? Who's getting freaky deaky? Well, that's my guest today. And the show is broken off into 3 segments about moi. The first segment is about me and what I've learned throughout the week, or if something just tickled my brain, or something motivational for you so you can get out of bed and go do your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? And the second part of the Sexy Ninja Cast is the news. And that newscaster is a straight asshole. That's all I'm going to say right now. And the third segment is either an interview or me reviewing something or something of that nature, of the main beefy part of this show. And this week we have Tha Freek. We had Magnificent T on a while back. Now we have his brother on this week, Tha Freek. And it is a great interview. It's a great conversation between two sexy ninjas. It's fun. It's fantastic. It will tickle your fancy. So let's just dive right on in, shall we? So someone asked me, how much do I really actually like being vegan? I know I've talked about this before, going vegan. I ain't going to spend too much time on it. And I'm like, I enjoy the hell out of it. And if you follow us on TikTok or any forms of social media, Instagram, you see that I'm addicted to this place called Java Juice. It's here in Flagstaff, Arizona. You should go check it out. You know, that would be a great sponsor for this show, because I would be like, man, just fill me up with them vegan drumsticks, and it's good to go. And I'm not telling you you need to be vegan or anything like that. It's your choice. It's your choice, and that's just the way it is. Sorry. I hate doing that on camera. But they're great. It's great food all the time. There's also other things around this craziness that, you know, I can find good eats. And the moral of what was asked of me was, somebody wanted to know, well, I want to do this, but I don't want to do this because I'm going to be criticized or judged for it and whatnot. And I'm like, don't worry about what other people have to say, because last week I sparked a little interest in people's ears when they're like, oh, when I was talking about my views on politics and how this and that. And I'm like, man, the amount that people talk about that kind of crazy crap is insane. Seeing it to the news and whatnot. And someone came at me and they're like, yo, well, it's kind of like vice versa, all that nerdy stuff you're into, Star Wars, Batman, wrestling, you know. You talk about it constantly. Why can't we talk about these? I was like, because these things bring positive light into my life. Everything that goes on that side of the camera with the news and everything like that, that's just pure negative. Like, and I'm not, and like I said, I'm not choosing sides. I'm not choosing sides at all. But somebody got offended from what I said last week, and I went back and listened to it, and I'm like, what'd you get offended for? There's nothing to be offended. I told you to be just like, be you. Be you. You know, and if that's your cup of tea to just bring negativity in this world, fine. Do it. If that makes you happy or if it just makes you feel miserable, I will never understand that. But still, do you. And that was pretty much my gist last week, if everybody was listening, you know, and me being a juggalo and stuff like that. But I don't know. It was just funny because this person came at me and I've never heard this term before. Justice warrior. And I had a message at homie. I was like, what is this? And I talked to the wife. He's just like, yeah, that's a thing that they call you if you are just left or, you know, what the fuck ever. Who fucking cares? That's, you know, but I was taken back. I was like, Justice Warrior? Oh, that's a badass superhero name, the Justice Warrior. Then I thought about it again. I'm like, no, it's not really, because you don't need both those words in the same category. Justice Warrior, you know. But yeah, it's funny, like people who get offended for something that's positive, it just blew my mind. And I'm just going to keep doing me. And you know, what's funny is like we've gotten so much crap over the years about our views, and especially the cursing. You know, I haven't really cursed much on this show until like recently. And it's a form of a bad habit that I have. You know, I curse like a sailor, and it drives some people crazy. It drives my mom crazy for sure. Drives her crazy for sure. But it's funny. It's like when I try to hone down that side of me, it feels like I'm just not being myself. You know, and everybody cusses now. Everybody cusses. Like, daughter was trying to scroll through TikTok, and every video had either an F-bomb, S-bomb, like all these bombs of profanity and stuff like that. And sometimes I'm like, hey, I don't want you to listen to that, you know. But she's like, I hear your filthy mouth all the time walking around this house saying fucking blah, 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 you know. So what can I do? It's just who I am. It's just the way I talk. And if you don't like it, oh well. And if you don't like it, then why are you here listening to the Sexy Ninja Cast? You're like, I ain't here for you, fatso. I'm here for the freak. I saw that. And we had a great interview with Russell Hood. And a lot of that, in that episode, I really liked, because Russell Hood is definitely a great motivator. And he's also doing these covers. And he did an Elton John cover. And man, brought me to tears. I was just like, just that power of music and that power of positivity. And that's what I just want to do. I want to bring you positive vibes. I want you to feel the magic and feel the power of the positivity, because sometimes when you go to work, like yesterday, I had enough of work. I was out. As soon as I saw my chance and opportunity to get out of there, I took it, because I have bad days as well. And I kind of felt bad for doing that, because I displayed I was having a bad day, and I don't like doing that, because in my role as a leader, I want to make sure the team's good. And in doing so, I had to, you know, I just had a bad day, and everyone knew it. And then everybody else started having a bad day because I was having a bad day. And then as soon as I took off, as soon as I ran for the hills and clocked out, further I got away from there, I felt better. But also I felt bad because I was like, man, I don't like. I try so hard not to bring that negative aspect into the workplace or in the real world or anything. And I reached out to my team and I was like, yo, it's okay. Today was not great. Today was, not bad, but it was just like a blah day. But you guys did great. You guys did awesome. You guys are fantastic. I love every single one of you. And sending that all, oh, thanks, Kyle. Yeah, just today was just crappy, but we needed this. I'm like, yes, I know. We needed to be like, okay, done, over, because my motto, there is always tomorrow. Always, no matter what. Always tomorrow. Tomorrow. Now you're like, stop it, Fatso. You're gonna enjoy, and I just realized I just rambled, and I I hope you learned something from that ramble, because a lot of people said they like when I'm on a topic, but then I just go all over the place, and people said I like that as well, because it's like, it's fun because I just get all over the place. You let me know what you think of this first segment of the show. Let me know if it's even fun for you to listen to this before you even get to the good stuff, because I feel like this is good stuff. This is good stuff for your soul. Good stuff to know that it's okay. It's okay. K&B the Sexy Ninja has got your back and is telling you you could do anything and everything you want to be, despite age, despite anything, despite it all, and you can go do it because you need to invest in yourself. All right? All right. Now. To that bastard of a newscaster, let's get to the news. K&B's a son of a bitch. That's part of the news. Matt Reeves drops an exclusive deleted scene from The Batman. We get a new Joker. Even though we have a bazillion Jokers now in the movieverse, we got a new one. We got another one. Why not? They teased about the end of The Batman, so we got this scene at Arkham Asylum. 5 minutes long, drawn out a little bit, but still, he's crazy, he's insane, he's the Joker, burnt, scarred, all types of things. And in that scene, if you see when Batman gives the envelope to the Joker, there is three paper clips. And when the envelope comes back to the Batman, there's only 2. Go look. John Cena is executive producer on a new documentary show on Peacock called Evil, about all the evil bad guys, heels in the WWE history, even now, being the bad guy, being evil like K&B the Sexy Ninja. Next on the news, a very sad. Triple H has announced retirement for in-ring action. No more the game, playing the game inside the squared circle. Thank you, Triple H, for all that you have done in the ring. And he says he has a heart defibrillator, so it would not be a good idea to wrestle in the ring because of his heart conditions. Triple H, we salute you here at Cplus News, and we say thank you. There you go. That's the news. Need a chimichanga.
All right, y'all. I hope you're enjoying the Sexy Ninja Cast so far. I have a special guest in the building. Introduce yourself, good sir.
The Freak.
Ooh, I like it. Just that's it. Like, you didn't need anything else. You're just like the Freak. I like it. One half of the once was Operation Underground, now doing his own thing, the Freak. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm glad we finally got to do this because we've been talking about it for a little bit. So,
yeah, for the last, 6 months or so, I believe.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but we finally got it done, and now we can just jump on into it. What's new with you, man? You got a new single out called Voices? Like, let's talk music, bro. What's the Freak up to?
Just tons of recording. Just working on a whole bunch of new music. I actually have some news dropping later this week or next week, maybe Sunday, maybe Monday. Some big stuff happening. Very excited to share it.
Very nice. And explain the song Voices, like what it means to you and what it represents for the Freak.
So, Voices to me basically is just what the song's about. Just someone who's insane, who just hears voices, and the only two options those voices give him is to go out and kill people or to take a bunch of pills and kill himself. Just pure madness.
And that's why I like the song. And that's why today, everybody that's listening is going to hear that song at the end of this interview. I know I had your brother on, and how'd you feel about that interview? Because I know you listened to it.
I thought it was good. I mean, him and I patched things up, so everything's all good there. Yeah, I mean, there's not more I can really say, I guess.
For sure. And, like I was telling him, I was like, I'm going to Dr. Phil this shit. I'm going to bring brothers back together. Besides that, like, let's get a little bit of your back history. Like, what got you into music? Like, what made you create the persona of the Freak, and what made you decide, like, hey, this is what I want to do?
Oh, what got me into music? That's a tough one because I don't remember exactly when I used. So, like my brother said, family's huge. Like, music is everything. Listening to it, making it, being a part of it in some fashion. So I would say it was just the music that my mother would play. When I was a kid, just David Bowie, the Kinks, the Who, Run DMC, Beastie Boys, just all that stuff. Punk, the Misfits. I mean, just all that.
Yeah, and like, what would you say is your influences on your style? Like, what made you decide this is the style I want to do?
Insane Clown Posse, huge Insane Clown Posse. Love them. Been down for at this point, I think it's like 13 years. Twisted. Basically everyone who was on Psychopathic. Huge. I mean, Cottonmouth Kings influenced me like heavily. Eminem, Nas, Biggie, Tupac. I mean, but there's a lot of non-hip hop music that was huge influences, like huge influence on me. I mean, anything from the Misfits, Slipknot, Mushroom Head. I mean, I used to be really emo at one point, so even some of that screamo, emo music. Really anything. I love reggae and stuff too, so that influences me as well. I'll listen to anything basically.
So you said you were emo once. Are you MGK emo though?
MGK emo. That's a good question. I mean, I like what he's done with Tickets to My Downfall. I love pop punk. But I don't think I think I'm edgier than that. I like it, but I'm edgier than that. Like, let's just keep that straight. I'm edgier than that.
Yeah, you don't change genres after being dissed so hard to change genres. Yeah, only reason I say that is because like that term emo was very different back in the day than it is now.
Oh, for sure. When I was in middle school, being emo was different than what people say it is now. Definitely.
So back, I gotta ask because I was seeing like some TikToks the other day, like the Django pants with the the big old pants with the parachute pants with the chains on the side, the chain wallet, mesh, not what Jeff Hardy wears, basically, but so I gotta ask though, like, would you say that one day you guys would resurrect Operation Underground, or is it too soon? Is it still like muddy waters until you guys can actually come back together? Because like I told you, brother, I was a huge fan of you guys, and you guys were the OGs of my original review days when I first started. You guys were pumping stuff out to me and being like, "Hey, check this out, check this out." And I just wonder, is there hope in the future for the OU gang to be resurrected?
I don't know if there's going to be any new OU music anytime soon. We've discussed possibly doing a song together. The possibility that may be happening. We don't know when. But if you check out his music and you check out mine and what I'm going to be releasing the rest of this year, it's just vastly different.
It is. I can agree with that. Like I'm listening to his music to yours. It's very different, and I think that's what brought the sound of OU together. It was like night and day. You had the balance, you had the yin, you had the yang, and that's what makes a good group, in my opinion. Like that's what makes that. And I really enjoy Tha Freek. Like I love the music very, very much. Any plans with like an album?
Not an album. I just plan on doing a bunch of small projects, and some singles, but small projects and singles.
Okay, and that's not a bad thing because that's the way the game is being played now. Look at Twisted; they release 6 singles, and that's half the album before the album drops. It's a whole new age of the way you have to market yourself and the way you have to play the game, pretty much. How would you say today is different from back in the day when you've first started doing music?
So when I first started, you actually got made fun of a lot. Like I remember writing my first songs, putting on a mask in high school, and people would just like make fun of me all the time. I mean, it was different, definitely. Also, just the way you would release music. Like I remember following some artists that were coming up, 8 years ago, and just the way they would put out music was different compared to what they do now. Like you wouldn't hear anything from them for months, and then they drop a 10-track album. So that's what I got grown accustomed to, is just making a bunch of songs, picking the best ones, putting them on something, and then releasing it. And then a few years later, or maybe not even a few years, we're maybe like a year, 2 years later, all of a sudden that was just not the way to do it. This rug was pulled out right from underneath everyone, basically. And it's, oh, nope, you got to release a song every month, or you're not going to be successful. You have to release 3 albums a year. And it's unbelievable just how much music you have to make now compared to what you used to do. I mean, Twisted's a great example of that. I mean, when they released Generation Nightmare, I think they released 5 songs, 6 songs.
Yeah.
I mean, but they spaced it out. It was like a song a month, basically. And then they dropped the album, so you already heard about 40% of the album by the time the album came out. I mean, Chris Webby, who's a good rapper, underground rapper, he will release almost the entire album, but 5 songs out of 15, and then drop the album. And he'll do it that way. I mean, it's just weird seeing it done that way, and just how much it's changed everything.
Oh yeah, I remember like you would get the single, then you got the music video that followed it, and they played that over and over again, and then you might get a second single, you know, whatever they push out, then possibly a music video. Then you had to wait for the record, and that record, like they would play those 2 singles for like months. Then you got the album, and you had no idea what the album was gonna sound like with those singles, because when you get to the album, it's like, this is a perfect example. It's like The Tempest. This was after The Wraith was dropped. This was something, we were in a new fucking territory with after the Joker cards. You know, this is a brand new album from Insane Clown Posse. We don't know what it is. We don't know what it's going to be. They released the name The Tempest. Everyone's like, what the fuck? The Tempest, what is that? You know, then they revealed it's a roller coaster, you know, and people were like, wait, what? You know, and like the song, I remember what was it? I do this all the time was dropped, and everyone was like, whoa, is this way the record's gonna sound? And it was completely different from what we've got previously. And that's not a bad thing at all, because I always feel artists should evolve in some sort of way, because like Jay-Z has said, you like my old shit? Like my old shit. You know, you don't have to fuck with the new shit. You know, you can listen to the old. There's no stopping you. What would you say is one of your favorite songs you've done so far, and how personal is the song to you?
Are we talking Operation? Are we talking solo, or both?
We're a little bit of both.
A little bit of both?
Yeah.
So for Operation, oh man, that's tough, because we released a bunch and we recorded a bunch of songs that never came out. I would say Rise Up.
Oh.
I would say Rise Up. And I know a lot of people probably aren't going to expect that. I mean, but I would say Rise Up, for a lot of things that I was going through at that time. And that song was like talking to myself. You know, it's like what I needed to hear. So that for OU, Operation, that's that song. Solo, it's going to be coming up. Well, there's 2 songs, but one of them's going to be coming up. Very deep song. Very deep. Means a lot to me when I hear it.
And I gotta ask, because you have to be in this game. Are you a mark for yourself? Because I'm a mark for myself. Like I think, like I watch everything I do. I listen to everything I've recorded. You know, like, do you do that as well? Like you play music of yourself, and people are like, man, you're such a self-indulgent asshole. Like, why would you listen to yourself over and over again? I'm like, I'm a fucking fan of myself. I made something.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I'm also kind of a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So I'll just listen to a group of songs I make, and then I'll critique it. I'll be like, okay, this is good, but what can I do on the next 6 songs that are better, that make it better than these 6 songs? And then I just try to go for that. And I do get that a lot. I have friends who literally look at me and they're like, why are you listening to yourself? Why are you doing that? That's just, you're such an egotistical maniac. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
You don't understand. I'm trying to I'm trying to hear it from my perspective, because let me tell you something. When you listen to your own music, or just like you watch your own podcast, you're like, okay, this is good. I like it. You're a fan of yourself. But then you also try to look at it from the people who love it, who tell you it's helped them, you know? Like you try to hear it listen, just visualize it that way. And I can't wrap my head around that sometimes. You know, like it's just crazy how some people are. I mean, I've seen your posts about like people shouting you out when you're out and about in public or whatever. They're like, yo, was that the sexy ninja? I've seen your posts about that. I'm like, it's those moments where you're like, what? You know me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know you, but like you know what I'm doing? Like, you know what I do? Like, you recognize me? It's one of those crazy things.
It's an extremely weird, crazy thing. Like I would say the biggest pop I probably have gotten from people was when I went to Camp Zool last year, and
I was watching those.
Yeah, then like like when I got out there, me and the homie was walking around with the cameras. All of a sudden, just a few people like, yo, I know you. I know. Oh shit, you're the sexy ninja. And I was like, hey, you know, and I was like, yeah, goddamn fucking right I am. You know. Oh man. But I gotta ask this. I am going to embarrass myself right now because I am 100% guilty of this, right? So when I play my music, all of a sudden I start rapping with the lyrics, and all of a sudden I'm acting like I'm in a concert, like I'm rocking a show. I don't know if you do that, but I do it all the time when I play something and I start doing, and I'm like, yeah, KMB. You know, I'm just like fucking dancing around in this fucking house by myself, you know, screaming out my lyrics and, you know, be acting like there's a crowd in front of me. Then at the end of it, I'm all sweaty and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, well, that was fun.
I do that. My eyes light up. My eyes light up, and I get into this place. You know, I'm just like rapping along, doing whatever. I love it though.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
I feel like every artist has to do that, where they're like listening to their shit and they're just like, oh my god, you know, like they just start dancing and freaking it. Like,
you got to do it. You got to be able to do that. Like,
so I noticed your shirt, and I noticed when you post stuff, you're a big horror movie person.
I am. I love them. Love them.
Okay, I got to get into this. Like, what is your thoughts on elevated horror? Like, you know, because I'm an old school guy. I love slashers. I love like more blood, the better. That's just the way I've been. You know, the killers, Freddy, Jason, and all that. And you know, what do you call it? Ghost fucking movies. Like, you know, I like to be scared in these movies, but now we're in a level of elevated horror. Like, I'll tell you a movie off the back that I just don't like, but it's supposedly in that category, The Witch. That I saw that movie, The Witch, and I was like, this movie's ass.
I mean, I like the old school more. I mean, I feel like a lot of the new horror movies, it's just drawn out, it's played out. I'm kind of weird though, because I'm a very 90s and 2000s guy. So that means I like a lot of the remixes. Like, I still buy DVDs. Like, if I love the horror movie enough, I'm buying the DVD. So, I mean, like, I'm a huge, like, you know, Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers. I love Scream. The Hills Have Eyes remakes, you know, 1 and 2. Texas Chainsaw Massacre original and remakes. Same thing with all Michael Myers, Jason, all that. Hostel. I don't know if you've ever seen Hostel.
Oh, of course I've seen Hostel.
Eli Roth. And oh man, I love Hostel. But I'm a huge #1 Saw fan. I love Saw. I'm one of those weird people that's like, I'll be hanging out with my friends, we'll be talking about horror movies. I'm like, Saw changed my life. Like, you don't understand. Like, it changed my life. It made me look at life in a very positive way, which, like, most people are like, dude, the dude's cutting off his leg. Like, what do you mean? How is that positive? I'm like, but the meaning of life, just valuing, like, just the value of every second. You know?
That is fucking true, because I was the same way. The first time I Saw was in Farmington, New Mexico, at the Allen Theater at the mall, which is no longer there, which makes me sad. And I was with my mom, because my mom's a big horror movie fanatic. She got me into horror movies. And I remember at the end, when Homeboy got up, that whole theater was like, what the fuck? you know, they're like everybody flipped out. Even me and my mom, and I remember we talked about that movie all the way home, and we talked about the perspective of like life is precious, and you know the reason why Jigsaw picks these people because these people are wasting their lives, and once they get out of his traps and whatnot, it's more meaningful for them to understand that what they've done in their life, how horrible and shitty of a person they were. Like, there's that deep meaning, and I would say like then the Saw movies, like they're all fun, they're all great, they all got some great kills and whatnot. But then I vote what I love about them, especially as we got into 2, then 3, then 4. Was like there was always somebody else involved with Jigsaw. They're like, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's
Yeah.
another one.
It's crazy. And then you watch all of them, or the originals at least. Leave out the Jigsaw movie that came out I think 6 years ago. But if you just watch the first, I think it's 7, you watch all of them, you let yourself think about it. It all just makes sense. It's all like one movie, it feels like. It just feels like one movie. It's just one long movie. It's just broken up into parts. It's unbelievable.
I have not seen the Jigsaw movie because like after the last one, the final chapter, I was like, all right, I'm good now. Like the story's told, and then they're like Jigsaw, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. And that I've watched half of the new one with Chris Rock, and it just didn't have that same feeling, and but everybody says they love the new Saw movie, what Spiral, that's what it's called, right?
So I haven't seen that yet. Someone played me a clip of the movie, and the killer's voice, or whoever it was, I couldn't get past the voice.
Yeah,
the voice of the new killer. Like, it's just really weird. It just Jigsaw and all the other people he had in the other movies, like the voice was dark and sinister, and it made like the hair on the back of your neck stand up. And you would just sit there and you're looking around the room or the theater, and you're wondering like, what the heck? This guy's voice just didn't sit well with me. It immediately made me want to shut it, like tell them to turn that garbage off. Like, it just did not sound good. And I had people try to convince me, oh, you need to watch it. You're a huge Saw person. You like Jigsaw, like the movie before that. And I'm like, well, yeah, because Jigsaw had a lot of like the other elements of the other movies. And even though it wasn't as good as the other movies, it was still better than I thought it was going to be, at least. But
I'll take your word for that. I'll go check out Jigsaw. Yeah, that's the one I've not seen of the franchise. I'll take your word for that. I will go, then I will message you and be like, yo, bro, I watched Jigsaw.
Apparently there's a new Saw movie coming out. Not to get too off topic, but apparently there's a new Saw movie coming out in 2023. It's supposed to take place between the 3rd and 4th.
Oh, god damn.
Or something. Like, it's more backstory, which at first I'm like, oh, another one? But then I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. Like, I forgot what it gets into, but it gets into things that are kind of like open-ended in the 3rd movie or the 4th movie.
Okay.
So it sounds interesting.
They're gonna ride that motherfucker. The wheels fall off.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like did you watch the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I have watched most of it. My life's been kind of crazy the last few months. So a lot of like the last few months has been a blur, but I'm gonna have to rewatch it again to really look at it.
I liked it.
Really like pay attention. From what I remember and from what people have said, it's dope.
It's that slasher film I'm looking for. Like slashers are making a comeback. I like that, and like and people are like, oh well, the horror has to mean something. Blah blah. I'm like, man, sometimes I'm just going to the motherfucking movies to see some people get killed in some very gruesome, grotesque ways. Like,
yeah, there's some times where I just throw on a movie that I know, like horror movie. Like, I'm just like, I just want to see someone get chopped up. I just want to see someone get dragged along the grass by their feet and thrown into a wood chipper. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just want to see that. You know, it just makes you feel better.
Yeah,
People say that's weird, but I'm like, come on. I know you enjoy it a little bit.
I don't think it's as weird now as it was back then, because
Oh,
now there's a whole horror community out there. There's this, it's like comic book nerds. I'm a comic book nerd, hardcore. And I'll tell you what, when back in the day when I was reading comic books, I was a certified nerd and I was a dork for even liking these things. Fast forward to today, it's everywhere.
it's pop culture.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know. Like even when I was a kid, I'd read comics all the time because love Captain America. The Hulk, Wolverine. Love those guys. And just reading them as a kid, when I was a kid, you weren't bullied as much for it, but it was in that like mid tier. So you had like the like the kids that always got made fun of and called nerds. Then you had the popular kids, and then when I was a kid, it was this mid tier where you got made fun of by some of the popular kids, but then you were told by the kids that always got made fun of and that weren't popular that you were too popular for them. So it was just this weird purgatory.
Yeah.
That I didn't understand that in 10 years later, it all of a sudden switched, or not even. Like, all of a sudden, I think it was when the new Iron Man movie came out in 2008. 2008, that Iron Man movie? That's what changed it, I think. Like, all of a sudden, you were popular. Like, you were cool. If you were repping an Iron Man shirt or reading Iron Man comics or doing anything with the MCU. Even DC. I'm a DC guy, too.
Same here. I'm a huge DC guy. And I remember when Iron Man came out, it was, and as a comic book nerd and snob, I was like, fucking Iron Man? Are you serious here? Like, Iron Man's like low fucking tier, like I was like, all right. I saw the movie. I was like, holy shit, they took this character to a whole different level in this movie. And it's funny because I look at it like this, because me and my friend Doug had a conversation about this the other day. And with that first Avengers movie, like Captain wasn't as big as he was back then. Thor neither, like these were not Justice League level like heroes in back in the day with comic books. And then the Avengers and stuff. Yeah, they were iconic in their own certain way, but they were never the level they are at now. It's crazy and mind-boggling. But I'm living in the golden age of fucking like comic book movies right now. So I'm like every month's a new comic book movie. I'm like, shit, I'm there, bro. Like I want to go back in time and tell my fat little self, be like, hey man, it's all right. Just keep reading those comic books. You're gonna be fucking cool one day, bro.
Right? Like it's amazing the way things change. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and
it really is.
Like fuck, we got like 3 Batmans fucking right now going on. We had like 3 Spider-Mans going on right now. Like, multiverse.
I saw the new Spider-Man. Loved it. Saw the new Batman recently.
I saw your tweet about that.
I'll say it reminded me of a horror movie.
Oh yeah.
It was weird. It was very dark, and I loved that. I loved it. Oh man, I don't want to spoil it, but the Riddler in that. Oh man,
it's been 3 fucking weeks or 4 weeks since that movie's been out. So if you have not seen that movie yet, that's on you. Did you see that they released a deleted scene a couple days ago?
So the thing is, I didn't see the deleted scene. Apparently, it was in theaters too.
Oh,
from what I heard, that's what I was told. Me and my friend were just hanging out. Like we had to leave right after the movie ended because we both were like, it's a 3-hour movie. So both of us were like, sitting in the same seat. The seats at our theater are okay. So we're both just like feeling like old men after the end, like the movie ends, and we're just like, okay, a lot has happened. We're just like, okay, we're getting up. And apparently there's like a deleted scene at the end or something.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing.
That's what I heard. I was like,
yeah, it's a question mark. Then it says goodbye. Then apparently it glitches enough for a website to come up. I can give a fuck less to go to this website, but that like me and my homeboy are always like, I've learned this a long time ago, and I learned it from Bruce Lee. So when he went to go watch one of his movies in the theater, the premiere and whatnot, the crowd was quiet when the movie ended and they let the credits roll. And he was like, oh, fuck. They hate my movie. Okay. So he would try to sneak out of the theater before, before everyone got up and stuff. But it was custom for the audience that was there to finish the credits, then react after. And I've always taken that story with me. Like I always go into the end of the credits, and and then at the end of the credits, boom, the crowd went wild, and Bruce Lee was like, "Oh shit, they actually like the movie!" Like I did, and that's the way I've been now. And like, yeah, at the end of the Batman, me and my friend were like, "All right, how long are these credits? Let's do this, bro." Then got to the end, and all of a sudden, it was the question mark goodbye, and I was really like, are you fucking kidding me? God damn it. So the second time I went to go watch it, I just told my wife and kid, I was like, hey, there's nothing at the end, so we can bounce right when this movie is Oh, man. But this was a fun conversation, bro. I having a good time. And but I want to definitely get you on again. Right here is part of the show where I give the floor to you. You can plug whatever you want, and all the plugs, I will have as many of them as possible in the description below. And the floor is yours, good sir.
Hey, well, I just want to say thanks for having me on. Huge fan since day one of what you've been doing. I see you grinding every day. Much love. But everyone check out The Freak. Stay tuned. The people I have on some of the stuff I'm doing. I'm excited. It's a new era of madness. And I want to let it spread.
Yeah. And where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at my socials have changed so much. If you look up The Freak, usually pops up. No one else has my name. Definitely, you can add me on Facebook. It's a personal account, but you can add me there. But go on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you listen to, and bump some Freak. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family, and spread that madness.
Exactly. Get in the bedroom with your woman. Play the Freak music and get freaky while you get down. Thank you, good sir. But Voices, the song you're gonna hear at the end of this. I hope you enjoy it. I hope that you check out The Freak, because truly talented ninja right here. And I hope you enjoy the song. But after that, you're gonna like and subscribe. You're gonna share with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the sexy ninja.
The Freak.
And remember, stay sexy, ninjas. Whoop, whoop.
These voices, they won't leave me alone. Telling me to go out and kill, to do all these horrible things. Every day, man, I hear these voices telling me I only got two fucking choices. They won't stop, they won't leave me alone. I wish I could hang up on them like a phone. Every day, man, I hear these voices telling me I only have two fucking choices. They won't stop, they won't leave me alone. Maybe they will if I shoot myself in the dome. Waking up, I always hear fucking voices telling me I only have two fucking choices. Number one, I should go out and kill. I'm so fucking crazy, I wanna see blood spill. Number two, I should take some pills. Maybe then my mind will feel less ill. Maybe then I'll be viewed as normal. Even in the afterlife, I'll be abnormal. Every day, man, I hear these voices telling me I only got two fucking choices. They won't stop, they won't leave me alone. I wish I could hang up on them like a phone. Every day, man, I hear these voices telling me I only have two fucking choices. They won't stop, they won't leave me alone. Maybe they will if I shoot myself in the dome. and I hear these voices telling me I only got two fucking choices. They won't stop, they won't leave me alone. I wish I could hang up on them like a phone.
Welcome to the wicked shit.